I've been wondering how to start this video off. I think I'll start off with a SpongeBob meme. Are you ready, viewers? I can't hear you. Oh! Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here, coming at you with another manga review for Dr.Stone. Z equals 170, titled Staring Up at the Same Moon. So, spoiler alert, the moon is in this chapter, as well as the potential discussion of the Y Man. As well as seeing how Ginryu is still cowardice and weak and stupid, but yet somehow brave as well. So, relatively speaking, this is a relatively short chapter, but there's a lot to it. And before we get into the review, I'd like to ask y'all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Big Blue Drew 97, as well as leave a like and a comment down below talking about what you thought of this chapter. And without the way, I'll get right into the review. So, we start this chapter off with Gin basically summarizing how just screwed they are by saying that the plan is for us to escape the ultimate sniper, Stanley, as well as like his crew of like his combat elites, while they are, having our literal aircraft carrier. So, Gin makes a very, important point. They have to use this stolen boat to escape Stanley, who is literally on a battleship. And everyone is, coming to this realization, but you have Senku who is like, there's nothing to worry about. Sure, we'll be evading Stanley, but we're still heading to our next destination, which is South America, as we see Stanley smoking a cigarette as we get the title of the chapter. And going into the next page is where we see Stanley and his crew most likely gathering supplies for their long voyage, most likely oil by the containers that they're bringing onto the ship. And while they are bringing them onto the ship, you have the Kingdom of Science people being escorted to the main castle with guns pointed at them, showing that they still haven't built any form of camaraderie, nor do neither side trust the other. But while this is all going down, you have Ginryu, who is wondering about his brother Ginryu and where he could possibly be, as we see Mizukaze fall on the ground. And you have Yuzuhara, who is very concerned about him, runs over to him, but you have Mizukaze, who whispers something to her. And instinctively, without missing a beat, you have Mizuhara, Minami, and Homura basically saying he's injured, he won't be able to survive, he cannot walk, we cannot carry him, bring him onto the boat. So they just instantly are able to come up with these plans by hanging around Senku and Gin a lot. So they you have the American people, Stanley's crew, take Mizukaze onto the boat, and they're wondering what are we gonna do with him? He's here, what are we gonna do with him? And you have Stanley who has two things. It's oh, if he dies, we throw him off, and if he lives, he's going to be our hostage. So yeah, nothing really we can do. So we just have to wait. And while Stanley says this, you have Mizukaze who's just looking to the side, scheming, as we see that this was all a part of his plan. But this is all going according to Mizukaze's plan, because you have Ginryu, who wishes Mizukaze luck, as we see that Mizukaze is infiltrating the Perseus that is under control of Stanley's crew, as we see that he goes into the basement-like area, where we see a particular individual that we recognize behind the cage where Hyoga was being kept captive, as we get the confirmation that Ginryu has stayed on the ship because he was hiding, because we should have expected nothing less from him. So we have him being happy that Mizukaze is here, and that he's surprised that he's on board, and now that they're on an enemy ship. And then you have Mizukaze, who just straight up believes that Ginryu stayed on this boat to gather valuable information, as we have Ginryu plays along with the idea, as he always does, and he begins to think like, yeah, totally, I totally did this, and now that you're here, we can both escape and get off this boat and run away on our own. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen, Ginryu, because Mizukaze passes out on the floor, and Ginryu is like, what's going on? Oh no, what should I do? What should I do? I'll give you 5 guesses on what Ginryu does, and you only can use one of them. And before we get to that one guess, we get to see the Perseus back in action. But she's changed. She's changed for the worst. They changed the Perseus. They gave her Gatling guns. Gatling guns! It's actually really cool, but you know, the Perseus was not meant for, what is it? What's the word? Oh yeah, battle! They turned the battleship into an actual battleship, as we get the lady singing from the top of the bow, or at the front of the ship, about how the retrieval mission for Xeno has started. So, you know, the Perseus is back in action. Yay! Fortunately, it's used to chase after Senku. Oh no. But it looks like they repaired everything, so that's great. Yay! But now it has guns, which goes against the Kingdom of Science and what they want to accomplish. Yay! So yeah, we have just this reveal of the Perseus, as we see Stanley and Xeno looking menacing as usual, as we get Stanley's lookalike, or as I like to call him, her Rule 34, I believe, Stanley. We see her discovering that Mizukaze has escaped, and he didn't really escape that far. Escape that far. He's just in the bottom of the ship, as they've captured him again, and they plan to interrogate them on where Senku is heading. Now, you may be thinking, how are they able to do that? They don't speak Japanese, but don't worry, they know how to draw, and they draw Senku, a boat, an arrow, and the world, saying, where are they headed? And you have Mizukaze, who basically tells him straight up, no, you do whatever you want to me. I'll never tell you about my master's comrades and where they're going. And you have Ginryu, who, you remember that one guess I gave you? He hid behind the exact same crate that was holding Hyoga, as we see that Stanley is holding up a gun at Mizukaze's head, and Mizukaze thinking like, no matter what's gonna happen, like, master stay safe, even if it means my life, don't come out of hiding. And while this is all happening, you have Ginryu who's looking at it and is like, oh yeah, that's good, Mizukaze. Just stay there. Don't do nothing. If you get hurt, it doesn't really matter. I'll stay safe and sound. That is your duty. But then you have this, like, moment where we zoom in on his eyes. And, like, Ginryu, in just this moment, says, South America! They're going to South America! As everyone is shocked by the fact that he revealed himself, as well as the fact that the gun that Stanley had wasn't a gun, but a lighter. And you have Ginryu, who's just sorry for what he did. He revealed the location of where Senku and the crew was going. And something I want to bring up is, this is the moment where we see Ginryu probably at his, like, most cowardice, his weakest, like, his, like, scummiest, really. But yet we also see him probably at his bravest, because he thought that lighter was a gun. He thought that lighter was pointed at Mizukaze's head. He thought Mizukaze was gonna die. He thought logically about the fact that if he dies, it's fine, our friends will be safe. But he also realizes that even though he's hiding, even though he could have stayed safe, he didn't want to stay safe. He didn't hide. And I think it's because he wanted to save Mizukaze. Not just for his benefit, but because, like, he's a friend. And I think that really this just shows that even though he's stupid, even though he's cowardice, he still does have those moments of bravery where he sticks up for his friends. Even if it's, like, at a cost of others, it just shows that he would never leave, like, someone that he trusts or someone that trusts him behind. He always does the right thing in the end. And basically, this is what this is. This was the right thing. Now, should he have told him directly that they're going to South America? Obviously not. This still means that he's not that smart. Because if you remember, and hopefully I'll have the map right here, we see that there are literally 5 cities they need to establish. One in South America, one in America, one in Australia, one in like China, Asia, and then another one in the Malaysian, Thai, like those islands. Indonesia, there it is. He literally could have said any of those. Heck, he could have said Japan, and as soon as they land on Japan, they make a break for it and escape back to the village where they will have more people, more manpower, and could potentially take over the ship once again. But you know, he's not that smart. But still, like I said, it shows that even though he's scummy, he's still a good guy in heart and would not want to see his friends get hurt. So, and now cutting over from Ginryu at his best and worst, we cut back over to Senku and the crew as they announce once again that they're heading to South America, the location of where the petrification beam occurred thousands of years ago. And you have Chrome, Senku, who are so excited about this, and you have Kohaku, who's like, "You're excited about this? Don't you remember? We're being stalked, we're being tailed, someone is trying to kill us." But then you have Xeno, who chimes in and is like, "Oh, you assume that there's something there after thousands of years. Well, let me tell you something, Senku. Do you believe it belongs to the one on the moon?" As this is basically the moment that is revealed that Xeno also knows about Y-Man. Also, let me just say, this is a beautiful double-page spread of Xeno with the moon above his head, with the stars in the sky. Just very beautiful. But like I said, this is the moment of reveal to us that Xeno knows about Y-Man, as well as this reveal to Senku and Chrome that they also know about Y-Man. So everyone knows what the Y-Man is. Well, technically they know that the Y-Man exists and that he's on the moon, but they don't know who it is. Or do they? Because this moment of reveal is leading to something big. Because you have Xeno, once again, who's arguing the fact that like, so you already know? And Senku's like, you know too. I should have known. Someone who's like a NASA scientist wouldn't know something about the moon and the radio waves coming from the moon. I should have realized this. And Xeno's like, ho ho ho. Well, maybe perhaps we should work together. I mean, we are the smartest scientists in the world. Heck, we could acquire this weapon for ourselves. And you have Senku's like, haha, I don't even care about that. But then you have Xeno, who basically begins to talk about, well then, how about we work together to crack this secret behind the petrification beam then? As we know that it's from the moon, why don't we work together to figure it out? As you have Senku in the last page of this chapter, which is once again a double page spread of Senku grabbing a chair, sitting in front of him, and basically saying, fine, let's figure it out. Let's combine our information to see what we know and what we can figure out. As now we're about to have potentially the reveal of what the Y-Man is, or even potentially like just learning more about it. And frankly, this is great because, and now going more into the discussion, we've always been wondering throughout this entire series, once we learned about the Y-Man, and once, you know, he basically tried to tried to petrify the world once again in the petrification beam, about who the Y-Man is. And even before that, when we heard those weird radio waves. So, next chapter, most likely, we won't get like maybe the solid confirmation of what the Y-Man is, but we're going to get more evidence and more understanding of what it is, and potentially why it has the same voice of Senku. And I think that is something that is going to like pique the mind of Xeno, because maybe something I just thought about now, maybe it's not necessarily that it is involving Senku, but maybe it is a robot or alien that is mimicking the voices of others. And maybe when Xeno heard it, it sounded like him. And when Senku hears it, it sounds like him. So they may discover, oh, it may be a robot, or it may be something about mimicry. So I'm just very excited to see like the possible reveal of the Y-Man, because this is the biggest mystery in the world. The reason why we are going to the moon may be revealed in this next chapter, and this is going to be amazing. So really, just this ending of this chapter makes this chapter really good, as well as just seeing Ginryu just showing like how much of like scummy he is, but still showing like he's a good person at heart. Even though he may do these horrible things, he's not the smartest, he's not the bravest, he still has a big heart and knows what to do and knows when to do the right thing. As well as seeing the Perseus being like outfitted with like guns is a little bit concerning for me, but you know, it's Stanley and his crew. What would you expect? So basically, that's all I really have to say about this chapter. Thought it was really good. Nothing to really write home about. But next chapter, though, next chapter is going to be an amazing chapter. So overall, really good. Art is always great as usual. Enjoyed Ginryu and his development, and just seeing that Stanley is going to be pursuing them to South America, as well as we're going to get most likely the reveal of more information about the Y-Man through Senku and Xeno discussing it. So, hopefully you enjoyed this chapter. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment down below on what you think is going to be happening in the next chapter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do all that cool jazz. And I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye. I don't know why I did that.